There are some things that you learn in the process, in the painful grappling of climbing up to a place rather than being zapped to a place. The things that you went through getting there give you the tenacity to stay there. The fight is your friend. My life was shaped in part through tragedies. And the weird thing about tragedies is that they don't tell you that they're shaping you. Intellect can describe it, but only instinct can find it. People always remember and talk about how you made it and you're king or you're the president or you're the pope or whoever you are, but they don't understand what all you went through to get there. By the time I figured out what life was all about, it was time to go. I've been sick before. I made it. I've been broke before. I made it. I've been brokenhearted before. I made it. I cried all night, but I made it. I've been betrayed, but I made it. I've been lied on, but I made it. I've been destitute, but I made it. I've been rejected, but I made it.
Let's go. Good morning, family. Rise and shine. Oh my goodness, it feels like a decade since I've been back on here with you guys. Honestly, I've been itching to get back. I couldn't wait to get back and share the energy. I've been able to see everybody be consistent, right? It was like every time I got on the Telegram or social media, all I saw was connecting, but I could see that everybody was plugged in. So I'm super happy and grateful for all of the leaders for holding it down while I was gone. I'm so proud of you guys. But before we go ahead and dive into today's topic, let's drop a little bit of gratitude down below. What is one couple things you guys are grateful for before we dive into the topic of everything happens for a reason? So grateful for God, grateful, seriously, grateful to be alive. Honestly, I don't know if you guys saw, but when you actually go and you look at the path of this hurricane, the eye of it literally came right over my city, right over the county and the surrounding counties around me. So there was a lot of devastation, right? To say that Hurricane Ian was catastrophic is pretty on point. There was hundreds of lives lost. So many went through so many tough situations. So I'm sending prayers out to their lives. This is one of the biggest storms to hit the U.S. and literally over the past 100 years. So grateful to be alive, grateful for the family, grateful for the dream team, grateful for all of the lessons, right? Being without power, being without water for 6 to 9 days, it really brought me back, back to the old days when we didn't have a lot. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I used to have to literally heat up, the oven just to keep the house warm. I used to have to literally heat up water and boil it and just to have hot water to shower with a little bit later. So it brought me kind of back to my roots, how I grew up a little bit. And it was honestly very humbling to get back into these stages. So honestly, I'm grateful for what just happened. So I love you guys. Grateful to see your face. Let's go. Grateful to be unique for life. I love it. Deanne, Horizon J, Lady Boss Nikki. So blessed to be on here. So let's dive into the day. Everything happens for a reason, right? I'm going to do a little bit of recap of what went down the past handful of days while I was gone, so everybody can actually get an idea. I got so many, lovely messages from everybody reaching out, wondering if, everybody's okay over here in Florida. So grateful for you guys. But here's what happened over these past, 9 days without power, right? And it was pretty funny. On Wednesday, we're expecting the storm to hit a little bit later, and it just kept getting closer and closer right over to our city. And the power actually went out. A piece of wind knocked down a tree and knocked down a light pole. We lost power at about 10 o'clock in the morning. So from 10 o'clock for the next 9 days, we were in for one of the biggest storms to ever hit Southwest Florida in over 100 years. So here's what ended up happening, right? over the next couple hours, I had a radio for a little bit, and people just kept telling me, well, D, the eye is going to be a little bit closer. You should really evacuate and get out of the city, right? All cities nearby had an immediate evacuation. Well, we actually ended up staying. And if you actually go back and you look where the eye hit, exactly where I sit, this is one of the most powerful spots to get hit, other than Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda, and up a little bit north, right? So the wind gusts, we're talking literally 140 that were sustained for hours, and some of the wind gusts got over 190 miles per hour. You talk about freakish movement. You talk about the type of wind gust that can literally pick up a 2-story building, right? So here's what was interesting about this hurricane. Not only did we have a Category 5 by the time that it hit with these winds, but we had storm surge, okay? For those of you that don't know what storm surge is basically where, the Gulf, the Atlantic, it pulls out, sucks in, and then it literally takes all of that water and storm surges all throughout anything that is in its path, right? So essentially, I'm going to show you guys in a second, but canals that were probably, 3-4 feet under the seawall, let's just say they ended up getting literally almost 7-8 feet over the seawall, right? To give you another visualization comparison to the depth of this surge, if you look at islands like Sanibel, okay, there's 2-story houses. The surge got so high, the individuals inside the 2-story houses, they had to jump out of their windows, swim out to find a piece of safety just to go ahead and weather out the storm. So 18 foot of surge in some areas, right? If you go and you look at Fort Myers Beach, it's non-existent, right? If you guys have ever been in Florida, that's a very popular beach over here. Every building over there is completely demolished, right? One of the main iconic bridges to get over to Sanibel Island was actually completely destroyed, right? They're saying it might take a year, 2 years to even build back. So these people that live on an island, guess what? There's only one medical service over there, and he actually left. So people over there, they have no way for food. They have no way for water. Nothing is open over there. And they might have to wait a year or two if only they can catch a boat to be able to even come back, outside of the island. So this hurricane was so serious, it literally affected the geography of the landscape over here in Florida, right? We have another island over here, Pine Island, which is the same idea. People cannot even get access to food, water, unless there's boats, and the boats are very limited. So I've lived in Florida for a long time. I've weathered some huge storms, and I've never, ever seen anything to this level. Seriously, I've never seen something so powerful like this, because I don't know if you guys saw the meme. I dropped a meme right before the hurricane, right? If you live in Florida, a lot of us see hurricanes. If it's a Category 1, we don't really care. It's nothing too big. But if it gets up to a Category, 1 to 3, all right, now we're kind of paying attention a little bit. But when it gets up to a 4 and 5, now we're actually really serious. Now we're really actually gonna decide if we're going to evacuate, stay here. And this ended up getting up to a 5. So this was a very serious storm. So, we lost power very early. And actually, at that point, I didn't have anything else to charge my phone. At the very end of these last couple of days, everything went so fast. You couldn't buy extra portable chargers. You couldn't buy, I actually went out. I don't know if I have it over here. I threw it away because it didn't work. But I literally bought a separate radio just to be able to charge it and have an extra piece of charge, because I knew I knew the power was going to go out. So I'm thinking like I might be able to hold my charge for like a day or two, but after that I have no idea what's going to happen, right? So I lost any contact to anybody outside of my house after about 3 hours. So by the time it got to like 2 o'clock, I couldn't really hear from anybody. And little did I know, the eye is getting closer and closer to my house, and I have no idea. So I'm sitting here, and I don't know if you guys have ever been in a hurricane, but before the hurricane, it's actually very still. There's not a whole lot going on, right? It just looks like kind of like a normal day until it finally starts to go ahead and come in. And now you can smell the difference in the air. You can start to see the trees are starting to stir up a little bit. All the birds are leaving. And I'm going to tell you right now, the next 9 hours was an absolute terrifying horror movie. I'm going to go around the house and show you guys a little bit about what happened. But when the wind started getting serious, as the surge started coming in, my pool was this close to overflooding, and my house literally started overflooding, right? The surge got so serious. You guys can see, you guys know how my house is. Check this out. My house, I have a big gap between where my doorway is and from where my sliders are. So I'm gonna give you guys a trip so you can see what happened, right? So serious. So the flooding starts coming in all right here, right? Coming in, this bedroom's getting flooded. It's going out all under the couch. It's going out to the front door. You know, I'm over here in the bathroom, and guess what? I look on this side. The bathroom door is flooded. It's all flooded in here. This whole room is starting to flood out into the hallway. So I'm here rushing, grabbing all these towels, putting them on the door, and the slider is literally shaking like crazy, right? And after about an hour, you guys can go ahead and see what happened to my pool cage. Go back and look at the videos. You guys know, I have a normal, pretty massive pool cage, and you can see what happened with this destruction. This was honestly unreal, but I'm grateful. As bad as this is, I'm so grateful because this is nothing compared to what happened to other people. But I'm not going to lie. I did kind of make a joke so you guys can see. My pool screen, my cage is completely gone, destroyed. My roof got obliterated. But you know what's funny? His pool cage is perfect. Not a screen out. Literally, his trees are blissful. He still got his lights on. So, it's kind of funny how that happened. But it just goes to show you, you cannot underestimate Mother Nature, right? Mother Nature is one of the most powerful things in the world that exists. And there's no running away from it. There's nothing we can do about it, right? Sometimes Mother Nature just has to run its course. So, yeah, basically we lost the pool cage. We lost power. The water was out for 6 days. I couldn't take a shower for 6 days. Charging my phone, getting contact with anybody in reality was terrible. Not a lot of people over here had generators. Gas was out for the first 5 days, so people couldn't even put gas inside of their generator. So I'm telling you, I literally had no phone, no power, no connection to anybody for about 6 days. So what do? Right? This is why I believe everything happens for a reason. Because guess what? Guess what we've been doing on the Dream Team, right? Drop it down below. How many days consistent has everybody been inside of the Dream Team? Let me see it. Right? How many days everybody been consistent? 70 days right here. Okay? And here's what I believe. Okay, let's go. Jay, 74 days. I see you. That happened. Storm hit. One side of the street is fine. The others is sworn, right? It's crazy how that happens. But look at this, right? We've been at this for literally days, right? Days of consistency, of building the mind, of building routines, of building rituals, of really callousing the thoughts, right? So now we're over here on day 70, and I believe all of that prepared me to be able to enter inside of the storm because you know what the truth is? Most people went crazy. Most people went through very, very serious mental health issues. Why? I'm going to tell you why. A couple different things, okay? We had no real access to real food. It's not like you could just throw anything in the microwave and go ahead and cook it. We're talking about peanut butter sandwiches. We're talking about canned food. A lot of people are not used to living that type of life. So at nighttime, there's no lights on, right? You want to know how I saw at nighttime? I'll show you my light right here. This was it. This lit up the whole house. So by the time it went dark at 7:30, we have this for 6 days. This is it. This is all we had to go ahead and light up the house. You got to sit in the house with one candle on. 7:30, it goes dark. Now, how do you really spend your time sitting by yourself with your thoughts? And I truly believe if I hadn't really prepared myself, I would have went crazy. I would have been so angry these past handful of days with no social media, with no contact, without being able to talk to anybody. But I was able to have the awareness, right? This is my time to really think. This is my time to have peace of mind in the eye of the storm, to be able to sit down and think my own thoughts. There was no music. There was no audios that could be listened to other than my own podcast that I recorded because I didn't need internet to go ahead and hear that. But I'm telling you, most individuals went crazy. So for those of you on this call that were in Florida that had a chance to experience this, do you believe or do you not that this preparation has been building for this moment? Because you guys lost power as well. You guys, some of you on this side, Lady Boss Nikki, Jay took a ride coming back, saw some of the devastation. But if you were in Florida, Yasilia also over here in Tampa experienced part of the storm. So if you've been really doing the deep work, you were able to handle this a lot different than most of you. Lady Boss Nikki, my morning routine kept me sane. Still being able to do the yoga, still being able to journal, still being able to get a little bit of workout in. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I lost 10 pounds over the past 9 days. Seriously, 10 pounds. You can see it. So I'm here to tell you right now, everything happens for a reason. Now being able to start from ground zero, from going and hitting the gym every single day to missing the gym for 9 days. I had nothing but junk food, nothing but garbage to eat because that's all that was left, right? I even had to eat meat a couple of times. So my body is so out of whack, but it makes me so grateful for what we have, right? The little things, being able to even get alkaline water. I haven't had alkaline water in so long. So being able to even sleep, having a cool breeze at night. For many of us, we haven't opened our windows and just had a cool breeze in so long. But this finally gave the opportunity. Being able to go out at nighttime, and I'm going to tell you, in the past whole year, I've never seen such a starstruck sky in the past whole year. Why? Because all the lights on. If you were over here in Florida and you actually looked up at the sky one of those nights, you saw how blissful and how amazing that view truly was. You can go ahead and you can see all the constellations laid out like a 3D globe, like a dome, just lighting up the sky. I laid on my driveway for hours, laying on my back, just envisioning and manifesting and looking out the stars and just imagining the possibilities that we can truly achieve when we start to believe, when we start to think our own thoughts. So everything happens for a reason. So I'm grateful for that time. I'm grateful to be without food. I'm grateful to be without water. I'm grateful for the little things. My heart goes out to so many out there, but everything happens for a reason. For many, they needed to learn patience in this time. They needed to learn greed. They needed to go ahead and be without for a little bit so they could truly appreciate what was actually there. Because I truly believe this happens to most of us in life. I talk about it. You can go back and look at my calls. This isn't the first time I've talked about something like this. Many of us, we only get serious when life gets serious, right? I give the analogy. Imagine if we're driving a car, we're lackadaisical, we're just going by, and all of a sudden you see those lights in your mirror. You see those blue and red flashing lights. And now you get all serious. You get both your hands on the wheel. Your breathing starts getting heavy. You look back, and he swerves around you. And you take that big sigh of relief, and we go right back to living the lazy life that we were living before until something serious happens, right? So I didn't want to have to wait until, a family emergency happened, until something happened within my close circle, until, a natural disaster happened for me to really get serious and grab both hands on the wheel of life, right? That's why I tell you guys all the time, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So I'm so proud of all of you for staying consistent, because you've been setting yourself up, not just for ending 2022, but for starting 2023 early. We're not waiting until January 1st. All of these tribulations, all of the things that we're going through right now is setting us up for the success that is to come in quarter four and all of the abundance that is still to come in 2023. So family, I was just thinking about it, how much of a blessing this really is, because guess what? Even though we had no power, you know what's funny? I still had trades in. I still had trades in. I was still making money in the middle of a Category 5 hurricane. How funny is that, right? Money is still moving even inside of a disaster. So I'm so thankful for the skills, for the access that what we have here right now, right? We have ECX where we can actually build an online store where even in the midst of a hurricane, guess what? Ka-chings and sales can still get done, right? We can have the ability to learn from mentors on how to actually trade money for money. And listen to this. This is so important, because what I'm about to tell you right now is honestly, it's catastrophic for so many people. I don't even like to talk about it, but it's the truth, okay? There were so many businesses that were just lost, that were just gone in a poof of an eye from this hurricane. Do you know how many brick and mortar, do you know how many actually physical locations were literally just poofed into dust in a matter of 9 hours from one storm? I'm talking about restaurants. I'm talking about brokers. I'm talking about all of these different industries, clothing stores. In a matter of one day, their whole store is gone. Something that they've been building for 5, 10, 15 years is gone in the blink of an eye. Look, Jay knows it. He sees it all the time, still fighting, right? This was a serious time for a lot of people. And they got a real big wake-up call, right? That this is now more than ever is a time to have multiple streams of income. Because guess what? If we're dependent upon one stream, that stream can get wiped out in a second. And this was a perfect example of that happening physically, right? I put it out on my last post. My last post on Instagram before I went off the map, I said, here's what's interesting about life. No matter who you are, everybody has storms coming. But the ones that are able to handle, get ready and prepare for the storms and get your umbrella ready, get your rain jacket on for when it comes, those are the ones that are prepared. You see, a lot of people were not prepared for this storm. A lot of people did not have backup multiple streams of income already working, already in the works by the time something like this actually hit into their life. So I tell people all the time, don't wait for this huge scenario to go ahead and occur for you to really get serious and think about, do I have multiple streams? Do I have money coming in from multiple different angles? Because this is so important inside of these times. And that's exactly what we have access to here. We have residual income. We have trading. We have e-commerce. We have travel, right? We have all of these different areas to go ahead and take advantage of right here at one stop, at one shop. So family, that's what I told my coworkers yesterday complaining. I was like, at least we still have a job. Thank God for what I do outside of work. Seriously, so many people don't even have a job right now over here in Florida. So be grateful for what it is that you have. So family, that's my training for you guys today. Understand that whatever is happening inside of your life right now, I truly believe that it is happening for a reason, right? I'm in a point period, in my life where I have to take care of a certain handful of older individuals like my grandparents, right? So this is teaching me a level of patience. This is teaching me a certain level of emotional intelligence, right? During this hurricane, my grandfather got very sick and he needed to go to the hospital. Guess what? The hospital's not open inside of a hurricane. So there was a lot of mayhem that went down behind the scenes that I don't really talk about, but this is where the emotional intelligence comes in. This is where the self-talk, this is where the gratitude comes into play, because we're not just going to get hit in business. We're going to get hit in all areas. And those that develop themselves mentally and gain that stability, this is where the magic truly happens. And knowing the awareness, right? I'm sitting out here looking with no pool cage. I'm out here, I'm doing my morning routine and journaling, and I'm seeing, if you guys know me, I'm obsessed with Cardinals. I'm obsessed with Blue Jays and butterflies. I've been seeing them all day long, right? Ever since this pool cage is gone. So it's understanding that we're on the right path, seeing the signs, everything happens for a reason. And if I were to give you guys a book to read, you ready? I'm going to give you guys one of my favorite books ever that seriously changed me for the rest of my life. Alchemist. This was my baby over the course of this storm, right? And those of you that know me, I sleep with this on my dresser with one of my gratitude rocks right on it, okay? And this story is about a little boy who he goes on a journey. He goes on a journey to find this treasure, and over the course of this journey, he runs across three different mentors, three different teachers inside of his life, and they all teach him beautiful aspects of life. But one of the first ones I just taught you was being able to see signs, being able to understand that everything happens for a reason when you pay attention. So family, this book is on Amazon if you'd like to go ahead and grab it. But that is my training for you guys today. It is your favorite entrepreneur, Define Dreams. If nobody told you today, I love you. I miss you. I'm grateful for your existence. You are a leader. You've been holding it down, and I cannot wait to see the growth that is still to come for Q4 and the abundance, the blessings that are continuing into 2023. So family, it is the 90-day sprint. Go ahead and drop a 90 down below if you are ready to go on this 90-day sprint, because I have been so ready to get back in the field to end this year off with a bang, right? We've got 90 days left to go ahead and make this a year to remember, going into 2023 downhill and with speed. So family, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Go out and make today great. Happy Friday. Let's go out and have an abundant weekend. Let's go out and get it. Love you, fam. It's game time. Let's go.